This one here is North Texas taking on UTSA. 8.5, the Road Runners are favored. Total is 168. I'm sorry. Did I read that wrong? Oh, okay. 68. It might as well be 168, Ralph Michaels. North Texas getting more than a touchdown here. 7:30 is going to be the tip here. I believe this one's on Friday. Talk to me here, Ralph. What do you think of this matchup?
Yeah, 2 games on Friday. This and the Pac-12, which we'll be talking about as well. You know, in the first game they played this year, North Texas had that lead. UTSA scored on the final drive to win that game 31-27. But we get to the bowl season, so let's bring out like opponents. They faced 7 common opponents this year. UTSA 7-0 straight up, 3-4 against the spread, plus 19.7 points, 19.7 points per game and plus 70 yards per game. North Texas 6-1 straight up, a better ATS record, 4-3. Points per game almost the same, plus 17, and yards per game almost the same, plus 66. I think this is just too high of a spread. UTSA got here last year, took care of business. I did go to the database, and just so you guys have an idea, when you're playing for the second time in a season, I went back to 2011, so the last 10 years. The team that won as a home favorite the first time has covered 53.8% of the time the second time. That leans with UTSA. But the more generic number, whenever you play someone for the second time without being at home, the team that won the first has actually gone 45.8% in the second. So the team that lost the first game has covered 54.2%. Again, it's not going to make you change your bet, but I just wanted to share those numbers. I look at North Texas, and both teams are banged up. North Texas has not had their top 2 running backs for each of the last 2 games. They're questionable this week, so we're not sure what's going on. UTSA has been one of the most injured teams at all. This is Trailer's quote this week. We've just been in a constant shuffle. We have 8 starters down. Guys that we were counting on to play, we're now shuffling them around. That's not to even mention the backups that have been out. Freak stuff. So we say it all the time. Healthy teams don't win championships. Tough teams do. They have a freshman running back who saved their season this year because their top 2 were out. I think North Texas can keep it close. I think North Texas has one of the best sets of linebackers and the best O-line in CUSA. I am going to back North Texas plus the points.
All right, going to go North Texas and the points. This is one of 5 matchups, Dave, in which, we got an opportunity for payback, a little revenge here. North Texas in them. Do you think they get it?
I'm not going to commit to a side on this game yet. Might get involved later on. Looking back at the first meeting, San Antonio pulls out the close game. Yardage in that game, North Texas won it by a pretty good margin. So they're going to have their confidence level pretty high going into this game. The matchup is still something that I think favors San Antonio. These 2 teams want to establish the run. They're run-first teams. North Texas does not defend the run nearly as well as San Antonio does. Roadrunners are very good stopping the run. And that could be the key to this game. If they force the Mean Green to start throwing the ball, I think that's not a good thing for North Texas. San Antonio coming off a weird game. I had El Paso for a strong play last week. Easy spread winner. Roadrunners came back from 24-0 down in that game to pull it out with 3 seconds to go in the game. So a nice win for them. Ralph mentioned the injury issues for both teams. I think I want to wait around and see who's playing on Friday. I think San Antonio wins the game. Whether I get there as far as the spread goes, kind of doubtful.
So it's in that first meeting there, Rob Dean, I believe North Texas, I believe they were getting at least 10 points, 72.5 as a total in that one. It didn't go over. It stayed under. This one's a little less than that. So how do you approach this matchup here, injuries and all?
Well, let's talk about that first game because Ralph and Dave started to get into it and just examine what happened. The first half in that game, Joe, was 6-3 at halftime. I'll give you Texas San Antonio's first 6 possessions. Their 6 possessions of the first half. They gained 207 yards, only scored 3 points off of those. Interception, turnover on downs, missed a 37-yard field goal, punted, kicked a 32-yard field goal. They got into the 15. And then right as half ended, they were on a 50-yard drive at the UNT 35-yard line. Only 3 points. 6 second-half possessions, 288 yards, 28 points, 4 touchdowns. I'll explain it why it happens, guys. UNT game plan specific for that game, played umbrella-style defense. UTSA and Conference USA doesn't often see those 2 high safeties, and we're going to make it dink and dunk down the field. They didn't handle it well in the first half. Second half, they did. Like I say, 288 yards, 28 points. Leads me to believe that they figured out what North Texas was doing to them. And since North Texas was in that game the entire way, as Ralph said, they win with like 15, or San Antonio wins with like 15 seconds left. Since UNT was in it the whole way, I don't know that they change anything here, guys. You often see these second matchups and wonder, will film study from the regular season game breed any changes, so to speak? Last year, when UTSA played Western Kentucky twice, regular season, 1,134 total yards in the game. Championship game, exactly the same, 1,134 total yards. Nothing changed. I don't know that anything's going to change here. UNT had real good success throwing the football against Texas San Antonio in that first game. Quarterback Austin Awney only completed 15 passes. Those 15 passes gained 325 yards, 21.7 per completion. And as for the running back situation, the kid in there now, Ragsdale, has 114 carries on the year and went for 122, 7.2 a carry last week. So he's not some guy that they're just sticking in there that's extremely inexperienced. 114 carries, a lot of carries. I like what Seth Luttrell has done in the second half of the season. Certainly he brought UNT along last year. He brought them along this year. I think they're both susceptible to run and pass. The number's been jacked from 66.5 to 68. What I got to ask myself in this one, Joe, is, does UTSA's rugged first half in the first game equate to 10, 11 more points in this game, now that they know what North Texas is going to do to them? It just might. 38-31 final, really not out of the realm of possibility in great conditions here in the Alamo Dome. So maybe I would look over if I was pushing aside. I think North Texas probably good enough to stay under the number.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It was good the first go around. Let's see if they can handle it the second go around.